What's going on with Ruslan, man? Is he gonna retire? Have you heard from him? What's the deal with all that?
You know what? Ruslan always had in his mind. You know, he had in his mind his last fight that he had maybe 1 or 2 fights in him, and you know, you just gotta give the fighters some space. You gotta give them some space. Let them think about their careers. Through my personal experience, he's coming back.
Yeah.
And it's not that I know, it's just through my personal experience. Ruslan Provodnikov gave the fans great fights. You know, you saw him against Bradley, you saw him against Matisse, you saw him against, you know, a jury, and then, you know, he goes and fights Molina and loses to Molina. Why? You know, we had a great camp, great preparation, but obviously there's always something that the trainers don't know what's in their mind. You know, we cannot read minds. And after that fight, coming into the dressing room, he apologized to me. You know, I love Ruslan Provodnikov, man. He's a great guy. He has one of the biggest hearts inside and outside the ring. Walking into the dressing room, you know, walking behind him, he just stops and turns around and says, "Joel, I apologize. I'm very sorry." He says, "I should have came to you earlier in my career." He says, I had a great camp. I trained really hard for this. He says, but since I already had in my mind that I was going to retire within 1 or 2 fights, he says, I wanted to conserve myself in this fight, and I don't want to come out all beat up like I usually do. He says, I went in that fight thinking, you know what, I don't want to come out all beat up, all cut up like I usually do. He says, I'm very sorry. He says, it wasn't your fault. It wasn't nobody's fault. It was just me. I wanted to conserve. I knew I could have thrown more punches, but if I got reckless in there, I just thought, you know, I didn't have it in here no more. At one point in training camp, going through training camp, I thought about it like, I don't feel it anymore. And I understand, you know, that comes through wear and tear in his body, all those wars. A fighter like Ruslan Provodnikov needs some real time off. When I spoke to his manager, I told him, you know what? Just leave it. Don't talk about boxing. Let him be. Let him go home. Let him spend time with his family. Just give him some time off. 1 year, 2 years, if it's necessary. He's gonna come back on his own. And that's what happens. You know, recently he was here. He came from Russia to see Terence Crawford and Posto.
That's right, yeah.
He came from Vegas, drove to Vegas to visit me. I met with him, and he brought me a great gift, in which, man, you know, I'm gonna have that gift for the rest of my life. Appreciate it.
What did he give you?
He gave me a nice painting. Actually, it's a picture.
Yeah?
Yeah, he brought me a picture from Russia, and I hung it up in my office, and I can tell right away just by his actions when we're talking, he's coming back.
Yeah.
He told me, hey, if I come back, I'm coming back to you. When he told me that, it gave me a good feeling he's coming back. Right now, he just wants to spend time with his wife, his son, and you know, a fighter like Ruslan has the warrior in him, you know? So what happens is, there'll be a point in time where he's gonna say, hey, I want it. You know, I know, because I've been in that position where, you know, you walk away from the sport, but it keeps pulling you back. The sport of boxing is very magnetic. It keeps bringing you back regardless. My brother Antonio at one point, he was in the same position as Ruslan. He was getting beat up so bad after so many wars. I gave him 2 years off, 3 years off. And then one day he goes, hey, I want to come back. And he came back stronger and kept winning fights, you know? He just got old on me. And I have a feeling that Ruslan's going to do the same thing. He's going to come back and say, hey, I took some good time off. I'm rested. My mind is rested. My body's rested. I want to do it again.